What up, what up, what up? This is Coach Josh Graves. I'm here in Yorba Linda today at the Smart Fit Method. I'm going to be meeting with the owner, Simone Lecompte. I met Simone from talking with another entrepreneurial buddy of mine, and he told me about this technology that's going to change everything in the fitness space. I had to check it out. So let's go see what she's doing. What's up, Simone?
Hey,
how you doing?
Going?
Fantastic. Thanks for having us today.
Yeah, come on in.
All right. Simone, thank you so much for an awesome workout. That was wildly different, but really cool. So thank you. That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you. Would you tell me a little bit more? Like, what were the machines that we used today?
So today you had the chance to experience our Vasper and our ARX Alpha and Omni machines. The Vasper was built in conjunction with NASA. So when astronauts come back from space, as we've seen this guy coming back recently, they're carried off the aircraft because they're so atrophied from time in zero gravity. And so we had to come up with something to help get them back to walking quickly. And they'd try to put these poor astronauts on a treadmill or have them lift a weight, and they were injuring themselves. So that's part of the reason that the Vasper was created. And Vasper, as you know, you sat on it, so we're running 45-degree water through that seating pad.
It was cold.
It was it feels cold right away. And then you have the copper foot pads that also have the 45-degree water running through them. And then you have the blood flow restriction cuffs on your arms and your legs, and those also have that 45-degree water running through it. So Vasper keeps your body temperature nice and low, which that allows for a couple different things. We're keeping more oxygen in the bloodstream, right? So a lot of oxygen is lost when we're working out and we're breathing heavy, we're sweating, we lose a lot of oxygen that way. So keeping your body temperature nice and low, we're keeping all that oxygen in the bloodstream. So the cold is also great for just helping to limit inflammation through the workout, and we have people that get off feeling in less pain after the workout than they started with. And a lot of that is because of the anti-inflammation effect of the cold. Also, what's amazing about that is just naturally, as hormonal balance, right? When your IGF-1 raises, naturally, this causes your cortisol levels to come down. So a huge benefit that we see from the Vasper is a good night's sleep. A lot of clients will come in and they know, like, oh, today's a Vasper day, I'm gonna get a great night's sleep tonight, just because that cortisol level comes down and it allows you to sleep like a baby. So we're on that machine for 21 minutes, and we take you through a HIIT training. So you're high intensity for about 7 sprints, and then you get to have 10 minutes on the cooling bed afterwards. So nice. Just an extra recovery time to keep the inflammation low, keep your body temperature low. Again, just keeping that oxygen in the system. That's really cool. That's Vasper.
What about the other two machines? So we had the ARX, right? The adaptive resistance
training. Yeah.
Very cool. So
yeah. So those are my favorites.
It's like the AI of the gym, right?
Right. It's so cool. So basically, there are resistance training equipment, and I'm sure that you would agree with me. I think everybody should be doing some form of resistance training. It's so good for us. And this it takes all the guesswork out. It's actually 94% more effective than lifting weights. So you get on this equipment, as you experienced, and it meets you exactly where you are. So as you're pressing against the equipment, in real time, it's giving you the exact resistance that you can take. So for example, say at a gym with a barbell on your chest, you can do a 100-pound barbell press, chest press, and I'm sure that you can chest press like a lot more than that. But
I was gonna say, don't shortcut me too much, Simone, but it's cool. It's cool.
600 pounds, right, so you can.
But 100 pounds is a good analogy. Okay. That's relatable. That's good.
There we go, 100 pounds. So you can press 100 pounds at the gym. So the reason that you can only press 100 pounds to that whole motion is because 100 pounds is what you can get off of your chest from here. This is your weakest point. So you couldn't. Yeah. So with the ARX equipment, you're actually able to press 100 pounds here, but as you go through the movement, as the fulcrum changes, so does your strength capability, right? So you're pressing 100 pounds here, and then through here, now you're pressing 120, 140, and at the end of the movement, you're pressing 160 pounds. Now, we let you resist it on the way back too. So now you can actually resist more than you can press. So now you're resisting 180, 190, 200, 210 pounds on the way back. And so the beauty of this and the real magic is that you're getting 100% time under tension the whole way through the movement. And as you felt, six reps and you are toast.
Yeah, it was just a diminishing return every rep.
Yeah. So, we take our clients through 6 to 8 reps, and that's all you need. You don't need to do, so we say it's a 20-minute workout, and people are like, what? You can't get, you can't get a real workout in 20 minutes. But with the science in this room, in the gym, you absolutely can.
I think it's pretty cool because in a lot of our programming, we help people measure the volume that they move in a session, right? So if you did 10 reps at 100 pounds, you moved 1,000 pounds of force, right? It was really neat to see it in real time on these machines, that it's measuring the force production on the concentric and on the eccentric. So after one rep, if I was pushing 200 pounds, and then on the eccentric I was able to resist 350, theoretically I loaded my chest, shoulder joint muscle, triceps, whatever.
Yeah.
That's a 500 pound rep, right? So arguably 10 sets, 10 reps at 100 pounds would be 1,000 pounds of force lifted. I did that in two reps here.
Yeah.
Right. And then to your point, how many of us ever train the eccentric on a chest press like that, where somebody's pushing more force onto your chest than you lift it off the bar? Exactly. I used to try and simulate something like that back in the day with like a Smith machine, where I would press it up with 2 and then try to control it down with 1. Okay. And that idea was about kind of a similar concept, right? That was taking twice the load on the eccentric than the concentric, but I think the numbers were really cool for me to be able to see the force that I was producing or resisting.
Yeah, and so the nice thing is that it also tracks that. So every time you come in, you can see, what did you do last time you were here? What did you do a month ago? And you see these small gains every week, and it's really motivating. And then of course, when you get on the equipment and it's, you see what you did last time, you give everything to make sure you beat that number, you 110% for sure. That's really motivating to see those numbers too.
So my question might be about, I know how to lift, right? So I understand the positions that I should be pressing from. I understand how to anchor in through my heels and how to drive through my posterior chain, whatever. I understand how to brace in the middle, how to get tight enough against the machine to add more force or whatever. Is there a learning curve for people that are not as savvy in the gym to be able to find the right positions or to?
Yes, absolutely. And so we have a personal trainer with our members the whole time through the ARX movements. And it's just like any other personal training when it comes to that part, right? We have somebody there that's watching them and making sure, pinch between your shoulder blades, drive through your heels, all those good cues to make sure that people are doing the movement properly and safely. But we do also see that your central nervous system, because it's so different, sometimes it can take a couple times of doing the full workout before it kicks in, and then it'll let you really work. It's interesting. It keeps you safe.
I think that for the first rep or two when we were doing the chest press, right, I feel like you could crank the weight up or the resistance up or however, I feel like on the leg press stuff, I can take a lot there, and I feel safe. But when it comes to the chest press stuff, I feel a little more exposed for my shoulders and elbows and those kind of things. So I took it a little slow to kind of feel it out. Yeah. But then at some point, I felt like once I got comfortable with it, I understood
where everything,
Yeah, I understood I was safe, essentially. And I think that's a big part of your nervous system, being able to do good work, is to be able to settle in and be like, hey, I'm not threatened here. I can give my all or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Well, this channel, we talk a lot to coaches, gym owners, trainers, entrepreneurs, people that might want to open their own businesses one day. Can you tell me a little bit more about, like, how did you find out about the Smart Fit method? This is it's a franchise, right? You were like one of the first franchisees of the company. So tell me about how you found the Smart Fit method and what drew you to opening this business.
Okay, so it was actually the ARX equipment. So I'm a health coach. I've been a health coach for a few years now, and I love everything health coach. Everything health I love. I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about nutrition. And so I spend a lot of time reading, listening, searching. And I came across the ARX equipment, and I was blown away just reading about it. I mean, I didn't even see it in person. I'm just reading about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like this, there's so many amazing uses for this equipment. Because a lot of times for health coaching clients, movement resistance training it's hard to get people that have never been in a gym to want to go into a gym and lift weights, right? So just a lot of great ideas flowing, with this equipment. And I thought, I wonder if anybody's using it commercially. And I found the Smart Fit method in Cardiff. That's the original location, Cardiff by the Sea. Literally, you can step out and see the ocean. Gorgeous location. Nice. And I called over there and sent some emails, and I was like, "Hey, are you guys franchising?" And they said, "Nope, we're sure not." And I was like, "Okay, well, you have my info, and let me know." And it was a couple months later, maybe 3 months later, they reached back out and they were like, "Okay, we're doing it now." And I said, "Cool." And so we met, and the first franchise agreement we had was a handshake, and and here I am now. So nice. That's how we got started.
That's really cool, right? So like, I fell in love with the concept, then I reached out to the people that were doing it, and even though they weren't franchising at that time, I maybe even seed planted the idea with them. But I think what's cool for this channel is to see like the different avenues that somebody can go on to start a business, or the different avenues that somebody can go on to align themselves with brands or things that they're passionate about, and maybe make a career out of that. So I think that's really cool. It's a really cool like superhero origin story.
Thank you.
Yeah. So really cool concept. Could you take us a little bit more towards like, what was it like going from the conversations to opening your doors?
Well, there were a lot of conversations, and then, like I said, it started as just a handshake, and then we had to start looking for a spot, and it had to be something that the franchisor and I agreed on. I know Yorba Linda, this is where I live, but he knew what his vision was, right? So he would come out here, and we would look together. And then a few months after that, the franchise agreement, and that's a lot of legal. His lawyers wrote it, my lawyers read it, everybody had an opinion. And then after that, it was kind of just like any other gym, I would imagine. The ball was in my court. So we agreed on a spot, finally got the lease, and then it was all about ordering equipment and hiring staff. And, so from that point forward, I would say it was pretty much what every business owner goes through.
What are the main type of clients that come to the Smart Fit method here?
Well, we are the best gym for 40 and up. So I would say 95% of my clients fit that category. They're 40 and up, and a large population are actually 60 and up. So, we have a lot of people that are really now looking towards longevity and wanting to be mobile longer and stay strong enough to, say, travel and put their own luggage in the carry-on, stuff like that you don't necessarily think about your whole life. Everybody thinks about, saving money for retirement, but they don't think about saving muscle mass for retirement,
Sure.
But it's important too. So that's kind of where we come in, helping people with that the later years in life when they need to be able to maintain and build muscle still. And what's crazy is with this ARX equipment, we are actually putting muscle on ladies in their 60s and their 70s, which is no easy feat. We do have a Fit 3D body scanner in here, so we're monitoring them. We scan every 28 days.
Okay.
And so we are seeing, muscle gain in older clients that it's not easy to do, but we're doing it, so it's good.
Heck yeah. So you guys recently grand opened. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank
Super
you.
exciting.
Thank you.
And I remember, I've actually grand opened a few gyms. I worked for 24 Hour Fitness for a long time, so I used to grand open some of their major clubs, and then I've grand opened my own gym and then a partner gym that I helped seed open. And the grand opening times are some of my favorites, right? Like the celebration of it, the new energy of it, the marketing, the promotions, the relationships with the community, all the stuff that comes with it. If you would tell me a little bit about like what your first month in business looked like.
Okay. Well, the grand opening, like you said, was so much fun. I'm a member of the local Chamber of Commerce out here, the Yorba Linda Chamber, and what a fantastic group of people. So this gym was packed with people. I mean, it's so much energy, so much love. Actually, a friend of mine came, and at one point she stopped me and she was like, you need to just look and take this all in, because this is amazing how much love and support you have right now. And I was like, oh, you're so right. This is so cool, And so that was, way to kick it off. Way to kick the whole thing off. Like, holy cow.
Was it a ribbon cutting ceremony? They do like the ribbon cutting stuff?
Yeah, we
That's
did.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Grand openings are kind of like weddings, right? Like, it's like all this preparation goes into it, and then when you're doing the actual grand opening, it goes by so fast. So I'm really glad your friend pointed that out. Like, hey, like enjoy your wedding for a second.
Yes, literally. Like, have a glass of champagne.
Here for you.
It was super cool.
So how do you currently find clients? Like, what are some of the strategies you're using that might be bringing people in the doors right now? You talked about the chamber already, number one, Chamber of Commerce in Yorba Linda. That's how I met you, by the way. There's a gentleman who has a brewery over by one of the places I do some content at.
All American.
And he couldn't stop talking about, like, you got to check out this AI stuff that she's working on, and the gym's got revolutionary. He just couldn't stop talking about it. So having that kind of support's really cool, too.
It is cool. And like I said, just an amazing group of people. So the chamber has been so important to my business, and actually through the chamber, I know a couple of the publishers of some local magazines, so we actually get a lot of business that way, just through local print. The OC Local and then Yorba Linda Neighbors are just two local publications that I sponsor one and I advertise in the other, and we get a lot, because this is a small community. Like, Yorba Linda is a small town in the middle of, Southern California, but it's really tight knit, and so people read that stuff.
Yeah, tight knit, but also like an affluent community, right? So Yorba Linda is like known in Orange County or California as one of the more affluent communities. Dan Kennedy has a book called No BS Guide to Marketing to the Affluent. And he talks about why some of the things that we might joke about as being dead marketing mediums, things like print publication, things like actual still making phone calls and things like that. Like, your baby boomers, your 50s and 60s and over, those people still read magazines. Like, they still pick up like the newspaper. So if you know your community, it may behoove you to still advertise in those ways. So Facebook ads and Google and all that stuff may not be the best way to target a 60-something, right? If you're targeting a 60-something, get in the newspaper, get in the print publications they're in. So that's really big. That's interesting. Yeah.
And then of course we do the Facebook and the Meta or whatever it is these days. So we do all that in the Google ads, and we see some response from that, and then we do whatever community events I can do. We actually just, with All American Brew Works, we hosted a health and wellness expo.
He was telling me about that. I couldn't make it. I had the Spartan race that weekend, but I'm sorry I couldn't be there.
No, it's so cool. It ended up being such a great event. Just getting the community involved in their health. Like, this is it's in your hands, and here are all of these different local businesses that want to partner with you and help you. So that was a great event. But I'll be at the Senior Health and Wellness Expo next weekend, at the community center, just anything local, setting up, meeting people face to face and explaining to them what we're doing here. And that's been really, really great for business too.
Can I ask this? What kind of support does the franchise give you in marketing? That's probably a question that I think, because I'm thinking that there's probably at least one person watching this who is thinking about opening their own business. And I hope today what you get is you see that there's options. There's a lot of ways you could come into owning a business. I've heard recent stories of trainers being gifted partnership. I've heard stories of people buying other businesses that were already successful where the owners wanted to make an exit. I personally bootstrapped from broke to a little less broke. And then, today we're here at a franchise story. So there's a lot of ways to get your brand built or your business built. So maybe to understand how franchising works a little bit, have you gotten some support in marketing, or how's that work?
Yeah, so the difference between maybe what I'm experiencing and somebody who maybe buys like a Subway or something, right? Like you have that name brand recognition, where this is a very new startup franchise. So so a lot of times with a franchise, you will get that name recognition that kind of people already know who you are. So I didn't necessarily get that, but they are working a lot on that earned media. So getting the name out there through, we were in a Forbes Health episode or magazine issue not too long ago. Things like that, where they're trying to get the word out really big. And then as far as marketing goes, they do have a marketing team. So there's a headquarters marketing team. So if I need an asset, say I'm running an ad in a local print, I don't have to build it, which is lovely, because no one wants me doing that. So I just send an email and I say, this is the demand, this is what I need, can I have this? And sure enough,
so you have some support on the back end there, which is really cool. It's like you're in business by yourself, but like for yourself, but not by yourself, right?
100%, yeah. That's
actually really neat, because some of these things were like wildly mystical to me when I first started. Like, how do you make a flyer, right? And I'm like trying to piecemeal it via, I'm ashamed to even say all this on camera, I'm gonna say it, but I was using like Microsoft Word and trying to like upload pictures on Microsoft Word and like space it down and can I wrap it, or how's it, and like none of that made any sense, right? Yeah. They were always terrible.
Yeah.
And I always wondered when I looked at other people's graphics and stuff, like, gosh, how do they do this? It's so good, right? And I've never even got close to that.
I still don't know how they do it. I just know that they send it over nicely to me.
But you know how to get it when you need it, so it's perfect.
Yes, exactly.
That's really cool.
So there's that. And then they also run the Facebook ads.
That's what I was going to ask. Because also, I think on your website, I think when people go to the Smart Fit Method, it directs them to a main website, right? And then they funnel that out to the locations from there.
Correct.
So if they're running ads on a bigger global scale, they're able to funnel those leads to you guys in your locations. So that's interesting to have a partner in that for sure.
Yeah, because that's another thing that, anybody that has tried to do social media at all for a business knows how incredibly time consuming that can be. And you don't know if you're hitting the mark, and there's a consistently moving target of an algorithm that like God knows what's going on. And so just having that completely out of my hands is really lovely.
That's super cool. And then that gives you the ability to then physically go do the marketing and shake the hands and make the relationships and those kind of things.
Which is where I'm better suited anyways. That's what I'm good at, not social media.
That's fair. So you talked about the grind a little bit, and we all, we get it. If you're watching this, you're probably one of those people that understands the grind. But I'm kind of curious what that means to you. Like, what have been your biggest challenges and maybe your biggest transformation since opening your business?
I'm a mom. I have 2 boys and a family, at home, husband, the whole 9 yards. I am also an avid volunteerer. I'm the co-president of the Music Booster at the middle school. I volunteer with an organization called CASA, which supports our foster youth out here in Orange County. I thought, I'll open a gym. I'll fit that right into the schedule. So for me, the biggest challenge has been opening a gym, really finding the time to do everything, and maybe realizing that there are some things that I need to start to say no to, which is clearly difficult for me. But yeah, that's, prioritizing the gym when I can, when I'm not prioritizing my kids who have, they're both in sports. They're, high school and middle school, so they're both in sports, they're both in orchestra, they're busy kiddos, so definitely the biggest challenge is just managing time and priorities and making sure that I'm taking care of everything and everybody that I've committed to.
That's absolutely fair and very relatable for me, right? I have 2 boys right now that are 2.5 and 5 months at the time of this recording. And I feel lost frequently trying to be present with them, right? I don't want to be an absentee father even when I'm in the room with them, but I'm still texting, networking, marketing, doing leads, all that. So I try to be present with them. I saw a terrible graphic that just ruined my life. It's this graphic on Facebook where there's a little boy who drew it was draw your parents' day at school or something like that. And the picture of his dad or mom, I don't remember what it was at the time. For me, it probably was dad because that's why it hit me hard. But he draws a picture of his dad, and his dad has this big giant black box covering up half of his face. Yeah. And from the kid's perspective, it's him looking at the back of his dad's phone all the time.
Ouch.
And I was like, what? That was wild
I got
to me.
Goosebumps. That hits
hard, That was wild to me. So I'm really trying. I'm so trying hard to put my phone away. It gets me emotional. To put my phone away and be there for these little boys, right? But it is so hard to turn it off sometimes.
It is.
If there's other parents out there going through that, how do you do it? What are you doing do you have any tactics or any tricks or hacks that you found to kind of help you through that?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
no. Neither.
So, tactics to help. I mean, so my kids are in a different stage of life than yours, right? Mine are in school, so I have all these hours during the day where I can really just focus on my work, focus on, getting the things done that I need to get done. So with little ones, they're not in school.
Sure,
they're always there, and they need you in a completely different way. So with my kiddos, I really take advantage of car time, which sounds silly, but they're sitting next to me. We're driving to a sporting thing or a orchestra thing or a school thing or wherever I taxi them around to. But I've really started to take advantage of those moments where I have your full attention. We're sitting in the car. I can't be on my phone because I'm driving and that's illegal. So, and now I take this time to dig in a little bit, so how's life? What's going on with your friend group? What's going on with your this? Talk to me about whatever comes up. Let's talk about that, whatever's going on. So I'm really, we have to do that. We have to drive wherever. So I'm really focusing on making that time count. I believe in family dinner. We eat dinner together every single night as a family, no matter who's going where. Occasionally, my husband goes out of town sometimes, so barring that, the boys and I still sit down and eat. But that, I think, is huge and hugely important. And we, if somebody doesn't get out of a sport until 7 o'clock, as much as it's not optimal, we're all eating a late dinner because it's important that we do it together. So whatever that is for you, and it may not be dinner for you, it might be breakfast for your family, or it might be, you know, a 20-minute walk at some point. Like whatever that is, just prioritize it, find something. You know, you're not going to hit everything. You're not going to be perfect on all these things, but if you find one thing that you know, I can make this happen, and just prioritize it, you know, I think that that's a good, you know.
It's a very good note.
Yeah.
It's a very good tactic, and thank you. It's inspiring to hear that. Thank you. I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that one. I appreciate you.
Okay.
I think family time for me is like is kind of how I was taught to save money. I was taught to save money that when you make $10, the first thing you do is you put $1 away into your savings account. You save 10%. This is initially what I was taught, but 10% was, no matter what, you pay yourself first and you save that 10% first, and you learn how to live off the other 90%. But most people don't do that. Most people, what they do is they try to like spend $9 and then they'll save $1 later, and they end up spending all $10 with nothing to save. If your family time is like that, right, where you do all the things you're supposed to do and then you see what time's left over for your family, you're not going to have any time left over for your family, right?
Yeah.
If you set your rocks and your priorities first, right, and then you figure out how to make everything else work around that, you will. It's not going to be easy, and I'm sure you're going to drop a couple things here and there.
Sure.
But if I'm going to drop something, respectfully, I love all the people I work with and I coach and all my clients and stuff like that, but if I drop a relationship with a client over dropping like my son's development, man, it's honestly an easy choice for me which one has to go, right?
Yeah.
So
no, definitely.
Admiring you for taking the real priorities, and I think in the beginning of the business is probably the hardest, right? It's kind of maybe the parallel of I've had my business for almost 10 years, so maybe the parallel of like infant to teenager, but reversed.
Yeah, no, definitely.
For sure.
And I did have to, I did sit the boys down and we had a conversation. I was like, this is going to be a rough 3 months and I need you guys to just hang on with me and, you know, let me know if you need anything, but you might have to do your own laundry a couple times in this 3 months, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Simone, thank you so much. I had a great time today. I learned a lot, both about business and about the incredible technology you guys are working with. I wish you all the success in the world. I think you're going to crush it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. We enjoyed having you guys here.
Love it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Every month, I'm going to connect you with the best of the fitness industry. So make sure to like the channel and subscribe so you don't miss out. See you next time.